What's up, guys? Episode number 7 of the Foreign Exchange Podcast. We're back. Got Tamiem.
What's up?
Got Aaron.
Yo.
And this is our, the formal version of our podcast that we're doing. How was you guys' week?
Week was good. What'd you think of the Wednesday pod session?
Oh, well, before we get into that, it was St. Patty's Day yesterday.
Yeah.
Or
It's
Today,
on Monday.
it's on Monday, but it was St. Patty's Day
Weekend
parade
celebration,
and celebration yesterday in Dallas. And I was, born and raised in North Dallas, kind of grew up in North Dallas my whole life. I always knew about the parade. I've attended it a few different times. This is the first year that I've lived in Dallas, actually real close to Lower Greenville, where most of the bar crawl was happening. I mean, St. Patty's Day has got to be the worst holiday. I mean, it's got to be the most degenerate. Just
Is it degenerate?
It's super degenerate. It honestly doesn't line up. It's like the holiday that least lines up with Ramadan, which is funny because I mean everyone's just getting drunk early. And I was just like, I was driving through the city, just getting from place to place, trying to get home, and there's so much ambulance, so much accidents in Dallas, so much cops, so much people getting in trouble, just a lot of drunks, a lot of fights. Just because people are up and they're drinking from 8 a.m. to I don't even know when. I don't know. Did you guys not experience any St. Patty's Day festivities?
Well, we don't live in the nice part of town like you. We're up north with the.
Well, of course, like you're in the burbs.
Different group of people.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Indians don't celebrate St. Patty's Day, huh?
No, I mean not.
No, most.
Did you see any Indians in Lower Greenville?
No, dude. All I saw is just drunk people, and all drunk people look the same, man. You might as well be the same ethnicity at that point. Doesn't matter, black, white, yellow.
I think it's just an excuse for people to drink. Mostly, maybe people that are in the early 20s. I don't. Do you see like older people celebrate St. Patty's Day and just get trashed out drunk?
It's almost sad to see someone who gets like older who's still like it's
but I don't think you'd see them anyway. Most of those people are probably looking for, like the people that show up to Chicago where they cover the entire river in green, maybe something like that. Well, maybe have it be an experience, but most people that are bar crawling, I think.
Do you guys get excited? Oh, like dude, it's St. Patty's Day weekend.
No, I didn't even know until you told me.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw stuff online.
Do you see any Dallas like TikTok or Instagram page that has influence? They shared a lot of the accidents, the stuff that was happening, the fights on the streets and stuff, and that's essentially what the holiday creates. Honestly,
was it busy?
Super busy. Okay. I mean, it's cool for the streets.
Is there a parade? There was a parade.
There's a parade, but there's a bar crawl, and I was closer to Lower Greenville, where a lot of people and they block off the streets, and most people are walking around, and it's meant to be a good time, and I get it, like the idea of just like having a reason to party and have fun, but it's just not my thing. What
do you guys think about just the epitome of the culture being just getting drunk? Like you're celebrating, a saint, and the whole idea is you just get trashed out drunk.
Yeah, like, drink like green beers and stuff, and I don't know. I feel like most people can't handle the liquor, and then so you get hundreds and thousands of people together that drunk. It just naturally leads. Like there are women like dragging other women by the hair on the streets. There's guys getting into full on fights, like totally drunk out their mind, where they can't even stand straight. You could just push them with a finger and they'll like fall over. And cops are everywhere cleaning the streets up. And I don't know if it's good for the businesses locally. I would love to get educated on that. If they do well financially because of it, that's cool. It's definitely one of those holidays that like I don't really care for, but seeing it from the outside and like looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it's definitely a young person's holiday. And I don't know, man. I guess I was living in it more than you guys, so you guys have no real opinion on it, but that happened yesterday. Friday was like a really weird day in Dallas. It was like super dusty. And
dust storm,
the dust storm.
It was weird.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. There was no visibility. I think you were lucky if you saw maybe a mile ahead of you.
Yeah.
My car was covered in dust by the time I started. I left the office.
Your Porsche.
Driving my car.
Your Porsche was dusty.
My car that belongs to the bank.
Listen, he's single.
Yeah, Frisco looked
got
like
a dusty
New Delhi,
Porsche.
with the air quality. I'm just saying.
Now we started the podcast.
All right.
Now we started. It really did.
Storm,
I didn't know where I was. I felt like I was back in India.
Let's talk about who Whose fault is the dust storm? I don't think we've investigated hard enough. Now I think about it, it was feeling very Mumbai.
I didn't even think to go there.
All the hider baddies were hidden in the dust.
Yeah,
if they even exist. God knows.
It was not good, and I think towards the evening, it got even worse actually as the day went.
Thankfully it cleared up during the yesterday, which was a nicer day to be out and about and do all the like festivities and celebrate, and anytime people are celebrating, that's fun. I'm all for it, but just drinking all day is a recipe for drinking all day in that amount in the masses is just a recipe for disaster. It doesn't go anywhere good anywhere fast. I don't think there are like Nobel peace awards and prizes for the people coming out of Saudi Day. I don't get the holiday at all. Actually,
yeah, not just the holiday.
The problem with Dallas too is that with a lot of drinking, everyone's driving.
Exactly.
It's not a walkable city, so it's just super dangerous.
The streets were insane, bro. I'm telling you, I was driving in Dallas, and I was like, no, I'm gonna stay home. Like, there's no point of driving because there's so much chaos, and every 2 seconds you're hearing ambulance.
Wow.
You're just hearing it all the time. And I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, they know this is going to happen. Like, you're setting this up to happen. All these cops, all these security guards, like, I kind of feel bad for them. I mean, they're just doing their job, but it's almost impossible to police it. And I'd love to see the stats that came out. How many people, got arrested? How many people got hurt? I don't even know that. I just know what I saw. And what I saw wasn't exciting. You know what I mean? There's some house parties down the street from where we live. There's some cool block parties and crawfish broils and stuff like that. That's like, that seems cool, but then you're getting into a car to get back home, or you're driving Ubers, which ideally you are, and I saw a lot of people that are like, it's struggling to get rides and things like that because a lot of drivers were like, we're staying off the streets.
Is this just us getting old that we don't see the joy in going out?
I never enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I went through maybe like a year where I was like, okay, it's nice to go out, never to get drunk or never to the point where to get trashed out drunk. I think it was more about. That's where you would meet people. That's where you make new friends, or I'll go with a group of friends, would share an experience, like the people I grew up with, right? A lot of times, guys, I went to high school with, we never got to be adults together. So that was kind of a way for us to go out, have a beer or two and just have
go
some
get a nice
conversation.
dinner, have some drinks, have fun.
Yeah, but it's never like, oh man, St. Patty's Day's here. Like we got.
No,
plans
I know people
who
are like that. I have a lot of friends that are like, oh, you guys are lucky. You guys are so close.
Our age.
Not necessarily at our age now, but people have, they're like, oh, you're so close to the crawl and you're by the action. That's so much fun. And I'm like, okay. And then seeing it yesterday, I was like, I want no part of this. I'm ready for this to end. Get all these people out of my neighborhood. It was
Deport them?
No, get them back to New Delhi or wherever. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it was, like I said, I don't know if I saw any, any browns. People, I definitely saw, other colors.
Yeah. Just wait until Diwali. The party in North Dallas.
Oh God, yeah. When is that?
Holi's on Friday.
Holy was this past weekend.
Oh my God, there was a video I saw. I think it was in Grapevine or
the park. They kind of block out the entire park to have a Holy
you saw
party.
Those videos?
Yeah,
insane.
Did you think it was fun?
The videos?
The Holy party.
I think it's cool.
Is that something you would participate in?
Maybe if I was younger. Yeah.
Not right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
But
it's like what was that? Life is Color?
Life is Color. Life is Color. Just
that concert we went to.
Indians. There was a rave festival with EDM dance music where they would just cover the crowd in paint, and it was called Life in Color. And I think they did it for a couple of years. But
we went to one of them in Istanbul, Turkey.
Yeah. Wait, is that the one that you have as a vlog on YouTube?
Yeah. A long time ago. Yeah.
I'm a follower of your YouTube channel.
My first and only video that I posted on YouTube, and it got taken down because I put a song in the background and YouTube took it down.
Yeah, YouTube is so annoying with that, dude. Yeah. So annoying because Francesca...
I just think you can't make money off of it.
Yeah, it flags you because Francesca posts
Which is fine. With one video, what are you going to make?
Well, I'm saying Francesca posts her workout classes.
Yeah.
And
but she puts music in the background.
And it gets flagged, and it's so dumb. It's like it's only promoting the music, so I don't understand why there's like copyright infringement or issues with it.
She like playing just music from big artists, or is it just like a?
It's just it's mixed, and some of the songs are like remix and stuff to be like a little more up tempo for the workout class, but ultimately like it's not a video that you can go and listen to the you. If anything, all it does is market the music because. Sure. Because you can't just stand alone, go watch her video and listen to get the streaming numbers for listening. Like you go watch the video for the workout and the music's in the background, but the video is getting flagged on YouTube because it's playing the music. It's so dumb to me. Like I don't understand it. Makes no sense. Honestly,
but there's some videos that have music in the background that don't get flagged, so there has to be a way around it, right?
Yeah, I think YouTube has some type of AI, and I'm sure they have some technology that detects music.
It is. It's definitely because it flags it like quick, and it doesn't make any sense.
Accurate too, I think.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know there's some people that'll change like the pitch of the music.
Yeah.
And that's like
to keep it from getting flagged. Yeah, but then it sounds stupid. It does. It just makes it waters the content down.
So last night there was a concert in Dallas. In Silo, Aaron, did you know who was performing at Silo last night?
No.
There's a guy named Mehmet Orhan, like one of the most famous Turkish DJs right now, like super trendy, super popular. And he had a concert last night in Silo, which
we should have went.
Yeah. But still, like, to have a concert during Ramadan, I guess that's weird, but
I guess if he's Muslim.
Yeah, he's probably not. A lot of, I guess, Turkish people are not, but I thought it was interesting.
That's cool.
That's what's happening. Yeah. You guys saw the in the parade. I didn't follow it that much, but I saw a clip of just people chanting "fuck Nico."
Yeah, I'm so tired of these like low IQ
it's
fan
funny.
base.
Why is it you take it so seriously?
Because it's to me it's like honestly retarded. Like I'll say it. Like
we had a guy
fire Nico. What does that mean? Explain it to me.
Just let people vent out their anger.
It's retarded. Like to vent your anger.
Brother,
like
we literally had a guy show up to City Hall to say.
Yeah. Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?
Yes, I heard the whole speech.
Pull up the clip.
Let me ask you, does it matter? What is the city going to do what the Mavs decide to do with their players?
Channel your anger to the appropriate decision makers. So if you want to see, what's the point?
So the city hall's a decision maker?
No.
On the Luka trade?
No, I'm asking you, what's the point of saying fire Nico? Tell me why that's like an appropriate way to vent. Like, why does that make any sense?
What do you mean appropriate way to vent? People vent however way they want. What you vent your way, I'll vent my way. Those people vent their way. If my way was not saying anything.
But Nico's not responsible for the trade, so why would you say fire Nico?
It's like if Tamiem does something and I'm like, fire Sujan, fire him. He's on the pod.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, see, it doesn't make sense. Now your stance makes no sense. Wait, just you can say whatever.
But the people that are there are also not as educated as you are.
Okay, well, if you're a fan of a team, if you're a fan of anything, educate yourself. You don't
have to be the same level of fan to go and have a.
Well, if
you're saying fire Nico, that's just wrong.
Yeah, like you want
it. It's wrong. You're saying maybe fire. You guys are more educated.
No. They're saying fire Nico.
If somebody's uneducated and ignorant, it's not their fault that they're uneducated and ignorant.
It's always the loudest people.
They should not have an opinion unless they're an expert. If that's the case, then I agree with the people commenting. We should stop our podcast because we're not experts in anything that we talk about.
Stretching a point to make your point. It makes no sense what you're saying. What I'm saying is saying fire Nico is literally retarded. That's what I'm saying. That's the point.
What do you mean? He's the.
So you're like, it's okay, let people be retarded. I'm like, okay, I guess you're right.
To these people, he's the face of whoever made that decision. Now, you guys are more educated, and to a lot of extent, you guys educated me as well. I was also ignorant in this topic, so I feel like I have more information on this because you guys have more information on this. But that's not necessarily the case for everybody. There's
the way I look at it is there's so many people saying that. So to me, it is an easy fan base to trick and fool. And I'm like, okay, this is a fan base that should get fleeced because they clearly can't see past the first layer of information. But it's always like that.
Any topic you look at, there's a very small percentage of people that are experts in those topics. Most people are, average at best in terms of what knowledge they hold.
All I'm saying is fire Nico, then what? Then what? Is my question to people say fire Nico. I never sat here and was like, Nico's the best, we should keep him. I'm not advocating for him. Right. I'm just like
you're upset
confused.
that they don't have the same level of logic and understanding and
knowledge. No, I'm upset that if you're a fan of something, if you care about something, then you should care enough to understand what the root of the issue is. And we've talked about it enough, and it's like they're showing their colors enough for you to understand that, okay, fire Nico, then what? Like, everyone who says fire Nico, I want to know what's the next step after that they think should happen once Nico gets fired. Trusting that ugly motherfucker to screen the next GM. He's interviewing the next GM.
Yeah.
So then what?
Yeah.
Fire Nico, and then it's like, yeah, he's going to give us the right person. It's like, no, dude. Sell the team. That's what every sign should say. Okay. Sell the team.
30 seconds to all the Dallas fans that are watching this. Educate them on what should happen.
Just
for the Mavs to improve.
Do your research. Look at the dominoes. What happened first before we traded Luka, before this complete shift in dynamics for the team. And it starts and stops with the sale of the team and the ownerships. The ownership who owns this team. Last year, Nico was the GM. It was the first year that the Adelsons owned the Mavs, and we made it to the finals. Nico's been the GM of the Mavs for long enough, but this is the Adelsons and Dumont specifically, because he's, again, the governor of the... We have people in the comments saying he's just... Adelson's son-in-law, like, he's not the one who... I'm like, dude, do some research. He's the governor of the team. Miriam Adelson does not care about basketball. She doesn't want to be involved. She'll go to the games. She'll wear her little cowboy hat, pretend like she's Texan. She pretends like she cares. Completely just plays this character for just dummies to think that, like, this is actually an ownership that cares about the city and its people and the intentions of being, like, a successful organization. Like... It's gotten to a point where the Mavs might have to forfeit games because they don't have enough players on the roster. Again, controlling injuries and those dynamics, sure. But, dude, when you have a guy like Luka on your team, you make sure that no matter what, this team is going to contend, and you do everything you possibly can to make sure that this isn't an issue. But clearly it's like one thing after another, raising the ticket prices. Fire Nico for that too? It's like, use your brains, use your little peanut brains a little bit more to have more, like, nuance, like, attack the people who are actually the decision makers, who are actually creating this, like, this issue. For Nico,
so what is the solution though? Okay,
the solution is not showing up to the games. Yeah. It's not buying any merch. It's not buying any gear. It's literally just going hard core and being like, no. The city should come together like that guy did and went to City Hall. That was good marketing, because what did he do? He talked about the Adelson group, their interest, and he talked about the real problem. Like, he wasn't, like, sitting there like, fire Nico. Like, it's such a low IQ. It's so, like, again, he had his own relationship with the Lakers GM. He has his own Nike, he was a VP of Nike. Like, he has Nike athlete relationships. He went and got a Nike athlete. He hypes his Nike guys up. Obviously, like, it's easy to channel your anger towards somebody who seems like he cares for a certain type of player and not for Luka. But the person who cuts his checks is the one who makes a decision on who else's check is getting cut. Like, anyone with any kind of understanding of any business knows this. It's grown-ass men who are saying fire Nico, by the way. It's not little kids. Any little kid, I would be mad at their dad. I'm like, your dad is dumb. It's just like, it's so, because I'm also a fan of, clearly I was at least of this team, and I'm like looking at them.
So that's
like,
what you're doing. You're not supporting the Mavs in any way. No,
hell no.
You're not visiting games.
I stopped when we sold the team. It was hard for me not to cheer for them last year because I loved Luka. Like, I'm such a Luka guy. I'm such a Kyrie guy. Like, these guys I was big fans of them before they were Mavs. I'm from Dallas, and I support the city of Dallas. So it's like, I want my home team to be good always.
Yeah. But the problem is, like, if, let's say that is a solution, or let's say we do accept that as a solution, that doesn't just impact the Mavs. One of the things you mentioned, I think, early on in one of our episodes was how your family had a business that, was directly correlated to events and how, the business would perform whenever there were certain, games or certain events at the American Airlines Center, Mavs games being one of them. So if the people of Dallas were to avoid going to Mavs games and just, reduce the amount of support financially that they're showing to the team, that doesn't just impact the Mav ownership. They already have enough money. Those guys, they're okay, $300, $400, $500 million, whatever they paid. I mean, I don't remember, but whatever they've invested, it's peanuts to them. They can just go and purchase another team. So the people that are going to be impacted are the
they're
local
gonna be
Dallas
impacted
people.
anyways. They're gonna be impacted anyways because their plans are to make a casino and a resort and to completely just fleece the city of their hard-earned money. Like they don't care about the city. So my point is, don't care about them. It's hard to detach yourself when you're so loyal to something. I understand that, and the outcries. I understand what you're saying. Like, it's like they're just trying to vent. There's outcrying. But what I'm saying is channel your energy if you want to see a difference. Like if there's like a uniform, energy that's channeled from the fan base in the city towards these people, and there's a clear disconnect where it's like your tax dollars goes into the stadiums that are built for these teams, right? It's literally money out of your pocket. So when you're local to Dallas, so if that's the case, then just don't show up, and eventually something has to give. Like the NBA would have to do something. Something would have to give if like the city completely just shut down, because like you said.
But if anything, I think the leverage is already on the ownership. The amount of money they would lose, or they are going to lose, if the people do what you're saying, it's inconsequential to them, the amount of money you're talking about. Whereas it's significant to the local economy. I mean, the job market's already really poor. So imagine if you're not flowing in as much money, or the team's not doing as well.
They're not heading in the right direction. It's built to fail with this ownership group. It just is. Yeah. Like every time Dumont opens his mouth, he sounds dumber and dumber and dumber. Like I will die on this hill that this guy is the worst owner.
Yeah.
There are guys like Sterling, who is the former owner of. There's like notoriously awful owners. I swear he's the worst, and I'm gonna do a top 4 list of the worst owners later in the pod, and we don't have to go this because this is gonna piss me off. Like, this dude is so goddamn ugly, bro. He's so ugly.
Something I was looking. It's gonna be a top 5 list later on in the podcast, but something that I was looking into that I didn't realize is that venues have a direct correlation to the valuation to a company, like to a sports team. Mm-hmm. So like, all the sports teams that have new venues, their valuation of the sports team increases like crazy. So is trading Luka, because the Dumont family or the Adelson family is a real estate tycoon family, right? So are they aware that by trading Luka and building a new Maverick stadium that's like a casino and sort of a resort,
the valuation,
it's going to increase and maybe double the evaluation of the Mavs to the point where they're a top 3 evaluated
like sports teams,
NBA team.
NBA.
Is that possible? I think that might be their tactic.
Say that again. Their tactic is what?
If they trade Luka and that causes them to be able to create a new venue for the Mavs that's like state of the art casino resort, like first of its kind, that's going to increase the valuation of the Mavs to the point where they might end up becoming a top 3 evaluated NBA team. Did I say that right?
Yeah. So you're saying, could this be a strategy basically to increase the valuation of the team
by doubling? Because
but that doesn't necessarily matter, right? The valuation of the team is like an arbitrary number. That's of course.
You know what helped the valuation of the San Francisco, the formerly Oakland Golden State Warriors?
Winning championships,
but also creating
Steph Curry.
Okay, but also making the new stadium too was tied to it.
No.
They made the new stadium much later.
Making the new stadium there was more investment dollars that went into the team because of the success that was driven by a generational talent. Like, that's in sport always. It's going to change everything.
Okay, why did the LA Rams get evaluated? Like, they jumped up in evaluation.
That's Los Angeles for sure, and
they moved to Los Angeles and they made a new stadium, and now they're a top 3 or top 5 NFL.
But I think the valuation
you could be right about that. I'm actually not going to argue that. I think my argument stands with basketball operations only, not business, not making this like a business, even though he's so ugly.
I'm saying now
I'm gonna have a counter on the screen.
I looked at the numbers. Mavs are evaluated at $4 billion.
Yeah,
it's going down right now.
It's going down if they bring a new stadium.
But they didn't need to trade Luka to bring a new
stadium. If they bring a new arena, it could easily go to $6 billion, $7 billion.
But why would you?
But I'm saying even if you do that,
but even if I'm confused about.
But even if you do that, let's say that is the case.
Yeah.
the valuation doesn't really do anything in terms of money. Valuation is just, okay, think about it this way. Like you have a house. Let's say your house is worth 1 million today. Tomorrow it's worth 2 million. You don't see the benefit of that unless you're selling. The whole idea, I think, of the Adelsons buying the Mavs is to leverage that to build a casino, because that's where they really want to go make their money.
But that brings the evaluation up of the Mavs. And if they spent $4 billion...
But I don't think they care that the valuation of the Mavs...
Yeah, they want it to go high. They do. They do.
But they want it to be
but why would you need to trade Luka for that to happen?
Maybe that gives them a better opportunity to create like a resort, a casino, a new arena. Like maybe they can't do it with paying Luka as much money as he's going to need to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately the reason. That's the main reason why they traded him. That's
they don't
exactly
want to
pay him. They don't want to pay him.
And instead of paying him, they want to focus on building a new arena, which is going to directly...
Where they went wrong,
and they would generate that
they
money.
would have made their return on the investment.
I guess the big argument...
They would have made their return on the investment.
I guess that's the big argument, is keeping Luka, would that bring the revenue of the Mavs up, or creating a new arena?
Well, I think his jersey sale alone is top 5.
No, you could have had both, is my point. My point is you could have made that early investment, and then he would have driven value through championship runs and more TV time and more, because when you make it deep in the playoffs and you get to the championships, you're on TV more, you have more events, you're selling more, you're bringing in more money, and he would have done that because the way the roster was built last year and just his age and his capability and the direction the team was going in, we could have had both. That's the point. We could have had both. Obviously, they didn't believe in that. They didn't believe in him, and they only care about what you're talking about is positioning themselves to like
to the point where they want a 2x or 3x the evaluation.
Yeah, but without anchoring on taking any risk to win or making an investment for the fan base, like, because that's what the investment in Luka is. It's for your fans, and it's for, because the evaluation of a team doesn't matter to the fan base like winning does. And when you're winning, you do naturally boost your evaluation too, because of the opportunities that we're speaking of. So it is, honestly, it's a super interesting conversation. And Patrick Vaughn is so ugly. So that's all I gotta say.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go straight to the top 5 because it's super related to this, and then we'll go on to the next one. So I want y'all to guess, because you guys are gonna get it right.
We could end with Wednesday's pod. I think that's a good way to end.
The top 5 most valued teams currently in 2025.
I already know number one's Dallas.
Yeah, number one is Dallas.
Yeah, that's the Cowboys.
Yeah, Cowboys. Worth $10.1 billion. They're number one.
I believe
and by far, like by $2 or $3 billion, they're ahead.
Wow. Number 3 has to be, I think, Warriors.
Number 3?
Yeah, I think.
What about number 2?
I think Lakers are there.
No, Real Madrid number 2.
Oh, we're doing global.
Global. Oh. Global. You guys got one right. You guys got 2 right, but not the order. So,
well, tell us the ones we got and where.
Okay, Lakers and Golden State are in the top 5 list.
So where are they?
Golden State's number 2.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And Lakers are number 4.
Wow, this is global. Every sport. Golden State's number 2.
Golden State's number 2, which
is crazy. It's because it's the San Francisco money.
And the San Francisco money.
Well, their valuation has also gone up with Steph Curry and the championships.
The championships.
They're the exact perfect formula of doing everything the right way.
Exactly.
But they let Clay go, though. So I don't know about that.
Because Golden State, they said Golden State 10 or 15 years ago was bought by $400 million.
Yeah. So they're the prime example. They're the prime example.
They invested in the talent. They
invested in the talent, prime location, like real estate was a smart move. Moving to
they've got good fans too. Like they show up for their games.
Yeah, they were a problem.
And the evaluation was said to be because of 2 things: building that dynasty with Steph Curry, but then also the second reason was the Chase Arena. So I guess Arena does have a part to play, because honestly, in the top 10 list, the LA Rams joined that list, and it was all because of the SoFi Arena. Yeah. So, but anyways, there's 2 more that y'all haven't.
Barcelona or Real Madrid?
Barcelona,
they're not in it.
New York Yankees.
New York Yankees is number 5. Number 3, NBA team.
NBA team?
Yeah, wild.
New York Knicks?
Yeah, New York Knicks is number 3.
Yeah, it's the big market.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So we were directly talking about this. I thought it would be.
Where are the Mavs on this list?
Mavs are gone.
The list doesn't go that far.
Yeah, it doesn't go that far.
But their owner's on a list that we're about to drop here soon. So
they're about to drop for sure, man. Oh man, I can't. So you guys heard the news with the Mavs kind of they don't have enough players right now to compete. And I think 2 episodes ago we made a joke that the SMU Mustangs would, or the UTD basketball team could beat the Mavs. It's
honestly, the Mavs scout team and the front office should go to Ramadan Hoops and do a little recruiting. There's some talent in Ramadan Hoops, man. Ramadan Hoops
league minimum.
Is this every Saturday night, I believe. Around 700 people sign up.
Wow.
To play in Ramadan Hoops. It's a tournament where it's really a beautiful thing that's been put together locally.
Is anyone able to attend, like spectators and stuff?
Anyone's able to attend. It happens after prayer. This tournament, every week is a standalone tournament. The winner each week, the winning team wins $5,000, and it goes to a charity of choice. It all goes to charity. To sign up, you have to pay $25 and that goes, that creates the pool that goes to charity. It also pays for the lease of the gym. It's 4v4, like around 600 to 700 people sign up.
Wow. How long is this tournament?
So they picked around 214 make final cut. There's like 50 to 54 teams who then get into pool play. It starts at 11 p.m. and ends anywhere from 3 to 4 a.m. And you have your winner for that week. And so each week there's a new winner. They tier the players, so they find out how good you are. They tier you so that no team is overloaded with talent. So every team is.
So you sign up by yourself and you get allocated to a team.
Yeah, you sign up by yourself. You can choose people that you have a preference of playing with. They have a whole system with like Excel spreadsheets and just a whole science to it, which I think, as a basketball player who played my whole life very competitively, played in college, have seen so many different versions of tournaments. I'm a huge advocate for Ramadan Hoops, and I think what they're doing is beautiful, and the whole message behind it and the whole purpose and the level of competition, it really, like, jokes aside, is such a cool thing, man. It's really cool. A lot of the money goes to donation. They set up vendors that also sell coffee and t-shirts and tea and some food trucks that go, and it goes, man, to the middle of the night, man, all the way to potentially 4 or 5 in the morning that you could be there. And I've participated a few weeks and I've gotten deep and made deep runs at winning and gotten close but haven't won, and it always gets to me because it's just like that competitive spirit comes out. And there are no referees, so you have to honor your foul calling and stuff. And it's all, obviously mainly Muslims who participate, but non-Muslims could also sign up and play. I mean, it's very open. It's a very open environment, and I'm just really grateful to. And I'm going to give them a shout out here because the name is escaping me, but I'm going to pull it up here and give him a shout out.
You don't have to be Muslim to play in this league?
You don't have to be Muslim. It's very open and welcoming to all backgrounds. Obviously, being Muslim and having your faith aligned with the kind of infrastructure of what Ramadan Hoops is about is awesome. But as Muslims, we're very open to people coming and experiencing this with us and understanding that we're here to have a good time, but also for something bigger than us. And it's local to Dallas, but there's been interest in kind of scaling this to other cities because of the implications. And I believe Aman Khan is the kind of founding partner of Ramadan Hoops. He created this vision. Aman's an awesome guy. He had a younger brother who actually passed away of cancer this past year, which was really unfortunate. And I know that they set up a live stream while he was really sick so he could watch Ramadan Hoops because he was so into it. Wow. And I thought that was pretty beautiful, and he's a great kid, and he's got a whole committee, and there's just like a whole group of them, and I don't know all their names, but I just know what they're doing is awesome, and I'm a huge advocate for it because it's a very one of a kind experience that in the basketball world you don't see, and in the Muslim world you don't really see much of either. And hopefully we can get Kyrie to show up. I know Kyrie is a practicing Muslim, and he's fasted during games and played professional games fasted, and so he knows the grind. Obviously, this tournament happens after hours so that people can hydrate. Man, you'll feel it for the next few days when you make a deep run because you're playing into the wee hours of the night. And I'm a huge advocate for these guys.
Is this a thing that happens every week or just during the month of Ramadan?
During the month of Ramadan, every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Yeah, and then Eid, like before Eid, before the final days, like there's one last like big run, And I participated the first week. This Ramadan, we had a good time. We played well, and I'm a huge advocate for it. I'll probably show up again, maybe sign up again, maybe one more time before it ends. It does make an impact on your schedule because you stay up so late and you're grinding, man. It puts a toll on your body, but everybody does it with a smile on their face, and it gets chippy and competitive, just like any basketball. There's shit talking, there's just like any real competition. But the way that they handle themselves and kind of control themselves before it picks up or gets any, doesn't get nasty. It just gets competitive. And shout out to Ramadan Hoops, man. Yeah. It's awesome what they're doing.
Yeah. Next time you go, maybe we'll show up. Just show some support.
Totally, and they do this thing where you could check their Instagram page where they have walkouts, like when NBA players before the game, they have a tunnel, and so it's like a dress shoot, and they got the cameras and everything. I mean, they've thought of everything. It's like a cool start to finish.
You think they'll let us go in with our cameras?
Absolutely,
and maybe do
absolutely. If anything, I'm maybe get them on the pod.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say,
because it deserves even more exposure, and I want to kind of even hear his story and how he thought of it and what was his inspiration for it, because what they've put together and how they've organized it is super impressive.
Would you say this is
the guys with headsets walking around, coordinating, make sure everyone's on time. They're recording it, they're putting footage out. They're coordinating people. They're set. Man, it's crazy. The signups are like Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. to sign up, and don't quote me on that, but it's something like a Wednesday, Thursday night at like a 7-8 p.m. time. They release the form to sign up. It fills in 3 minutes, dude. 3 minutes. Wow. They have over 300-400 people sign up. A lot of people don't make the cut. Like, I got to wait till next week. And so to create something that has that kind of interest and buy-in, and everyone's super excited and look forward to it. I mean, my older brother, I keep telling him, retire your sneakers, man. You shouldn't be playing this late in the night. But he goes all the time, and he enjoys it, and he supports it. And he's the one who brought me into it as well and kind of showed me what it was about. I think they're like 4 or 5 years in. Even Aman made a speech the first week of Ramadan Hoops this week, where it's like, hey man, I'm getting married. Like I've gotten married. I'm getting older. The younger generation, I want you guys to take this, elevate it, make it even bigger cities, all that stuff. Like he's all about, the camaraderie for what it is. And it's a really cool thing for sure.
Very cool. Yeah. Let's see if we can have him on. Maybe we'll show up sometime.
Totally.
But talking about basketball, March Madness is going on. What do you guys follow? I don't follow a lot of college basketball. Probably the most, popular of players. Like whoever drives attention to the sport, that's probably what I'm following. But
yeah, so tonight is Selection Sunday. So I was a former college basketball player myself. I'm a big basketball head. That's why all the Mavs stuff gets to me. All the basketball stuff gets to me. But it is March Madness coming up. Tonight's Selection Sunday, and what that means is that after all these conference tournament games end, they have a committee that comes together and essentially decides the ranking of each of the teams prior to the big tournament, which is March Madness. There are a lot of people that they have to look the last 4 to get in, and there's like a cutoff, so there's a lot of deliberating, like who had a strong enough schedule of wins to deserve a spot. But the name stays already know that they're getting in. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of conference tournament play this past week, which is super, super exciting to watch. I think there's arguments you can make that the product itself of watching college basketball right now is more entertaining than NBA games. They're not as skilled, don't get me wrong, but the product itself, the fandom, the level of care, the level of effort that these kids put in, the just kind of more traditional hoops where it's like there's a power forward, there's a center, there's people on the court who are solely on the court to set screens, to hustle, to get rebounds, to just grind it out. Alumni come and watch. There's a lot of school spirit, so the fans get really into it. When the players lose and their college careers end, you could see the passion in their face and their eyes. They cry, they break down, because you could tell this is everything to them, and it's like closing a chapter. So the product itself, I highly recommend, especially conference play. And then March Madness, there's Cinderella stories. Right. There are teams that are non-conventional, non-powerhouse schools that make deep runs, and then they get a huge following. This year, SMU has a pretty strong team. I think they should make it into the tournament come Selection Sunday, come tonight. Locally, in terms of local teams, SMU is, a pretty competitive team. That the ACC is not as competitive as years past, but Duke is definitely a flagship, organization. They have Cooper Flagg, who is probably going to be the number one player drafted in next year's draft, and he had an unfortunate ankle injury in this conference tournament that put him out, but Duke still won the ACC championship. They beat Louisville last night, and it was a super fun, exciting game. Duke
seems like something he would recover from. Looks like a sprain.
It's like a high ankle sprain. He's going to be a little bit compromised. Even if he comes and plays, it's going to impact his play a little bit, but which is unfortunate because seeing him in the tournament is what I was like really excited for, and fans should get excited for because he's legit. And I see a lot of Mavs fans like want to tank for Cooper, and like they're already thinking of the next guy. I'm like, don't trust Dumont. He's going to trade Cooper as soon as he gets him too. But Clemson's pretty solid. ACC schools of the AC. I'm not going to go all the way through like a thorough breakdown. I think the tournament starts at the end of this week. March Madness starts. So they'll do Selection Sunday today, and I believe the play-in games are Wednesday, and Thursday is when the first round is. And it's just super fun. Everybody gets a bracket. I think Elon Musk put out let me look this up. Elon Musk perfect bracket. He said, I don't know if this is fake news. So yeah, he said March Madness, if anyone comes out with a perfect bracket, they have a chance to go to Mars. So this is a promotional marketing thing that's happened. Warren Buffett a few years ago said anyone puts out a perfect bracket, I'm going to give them $1 billion, like $1 billion because the odds of creating a perfect bracket. So this year, Elon Musk is saying that he's going to take whoever creates a perfect bracket and give them a chance to go to Mars, which is awesome marketing. But odds of creating a perfect bracket, it's like 1 in 92 quintillion. So it's never happened before, and odds are it'll never actually happen.
Right.
There's just it's so hard. So that's why there's just so many different potential outcomes that can happen.
Yeah. So 63 games with a possibility of basically to either win or a loss for each game.
What's quintillion?
Well, the numbers, it's number here, right? So there's
trillion.
That's a million right here. There's a billion.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So say that again.
Yeah. So there's trillion, quadrillion, and quintillion.
Yeah. So I mean, you have literally so much.
They just made that shit up, bro. There's no way somebody calculated.
You have higher odds of.
It's a real thing.
You have higher odds of finding a hider baddie than this happening.
Yeah.
But it's just fun, man. You don't even have to be like a hoops fan. You don't have to be a college fan to just create a bracket. A lot of times, random people like children or women who don't even like watch the sport will pick based off of like logos and mascots, and like their brackets are more sophisticated and more correct than like experts. Like experts are hilarious because they're going to break it down for you. But I feel super excited about it. I think I'll do a quick just teams that I think are going to make it to the Final Four. Of course, Duke. That's pretty easy. Really no one from the Atlantic 10, nobody from Big 12 wise. Houston and Tech. Houston is just always just such a scrappy and competitive team. Arizona is a little bit of a dark horse as well in terms of Big 12 teams that can make a deep run. Big East, St. John's. Now St. John's, they're my favorite team. Like you have to watch Rick Pitino, such a classic OG top tier basketball coach. He's like what a coach back in the day. He's such a. Let me play this quick Pitino speech for you guys because he's such a G, bro. I'm telling y'all. And he's the coach of St. John's. St. John's is the New York team. They play in Madison Square Garden. St. John's plays in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, Rick Pitino's a legend. St. John's, and they're my favorite team. St. John's all the way. St. John's, everybody picked them to win it all. They're such an awesome team. Watch this clip.
Dig in and be a basketball player. Dig in. Every time you miss a shot, your game deflates. We don't care about your missed shots. Play defense. You guys keep blowing opportunity upon opportunity upon opportunity. You're like children with bad things happening. Instead of digging in and be tougher, you wilt. Where is your toughness? Where have you guys been raised that you're so weak mentally that you just give up when something doesn't go right for you. Don't you know what adversity is all about? That's the game of life, not the game of basketball. You don't get down when things go wrong. You dig in and get tougher. Your whole life's going to be adversity. Learn how to deal with it.
Patino, Red Storm.
Which is like pure facts, which goes back to my point.
I just watched a clip with him this past week where he was talking about his player getting an IV for Ramadan.
Yeah, that was badass.
Super badass.
Yeah,
he's such a badass, which goes back to our Wednesday night pod about adversity and how you handle it. Dictates the kind of man you are. But anyways,
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that, and that is pretty much how you lead in all aspects of life. But anyways, Rick Pitino is such a badass coach. Let me just wrap this up. So I'm so
go pull up the clip with the Rick Pitino with the guy, player Ramadan IV.
Well, Sadiku said he's getting a lot of fluids, IV fluids, before the game. While it's dark, he's getting IV fluids before the game, which helps the Ramadan. I asked the trainers and him, could we get something in the IV to help his defense?
Yeah, Rick Pitino is a G, bro. He's a G.
I saw that clip. I was like, dude, who's this coach? This coach is a badass.
He's catching strays while fasting.
He's an OG. He's like a legit, and that's why I love college basketball. Is that the player and coach relationships are very based in like respect. And
it's a lot more personal too.
It's a lot more personal. The coaches care a lot about the players, and they're hard on the players. And there's just more of that dynamic in the team sport. I think there's a lot of prima donnas in professional sports, and it takes away from the dynamics that make it entertaining. But Patino's a G. I really like. I've been rooting hard for. They just won the Big East Conference tournament yesterday. I watched the game, and they play like New York hoops, man. They play hoops where it's like in your grill, just playing hardcore defense. They're athletes all over the court, and they just don't give up. And it's led by that type of coach and mindset, which I just love. Like, I eat that shit up. And
I saw something online. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but he was the first coach to win, I guess, conferences with 5 different teams.
Yeah. I mean, I think something like he was a legend at Louisville and he coached a lot of different places. He's a legendary coach. He got in trouble because of paying players. There's just a whole bunch of allegations for what he did. His program did in paying players kind of under the rug. But now with the NIL, paying players is like you're allowed to do it, which it's like everybody was doing it anyway. It was just who was doing it better and who didn't get caught. And Rick Pitino,
in what form.
Yeah, and that shouldn't take away from the type of coach and quality of coach that he actually is. I mean, just watch St. John's play. Like, when you watch them play, you're like, hell yeah, this is like he's just in their ass to give the maximum effort, right? Yeah. So for me, it's like Final Fours, again, the bracket has to come out to understand who's positioned where to give like a real Final Four analysis. Mm-hmm. Right now, can't do that. But St. John's, Michigan State, Michigan, Duke, who else? Houston, Auburn. These are teams that can make a real run. Where's the SEC? SEC has a lot of strong Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. I mean, SEC has so many talented teams that are going to make deep pushes. So yeah, that's my little March Madness just riff. It'll be fun. Everybody tune in and make a bracket and give yourself a chance to go to Mars, man. It's gonna be.
Why don't
fun.
we do that for next week's episode? We'll all have our brackets and we'll see. We'll keep up with it every week. See how it goes.
Yeah. We could go through our brackets. I wish I could give you guys my bracket right now and a breakdown of who to pick in the matchups, but the
yours is gonna be a lot more scientific than ours.
Mine's is just gonna be based off.
This name sounds better.
I'm gonna say I got all birds winning.
Yeah, mine is definitely gonna be based off of a lot of just watch. I've watched a lot of college hoops this year. I really just, as I get older, I realize that I enjoy it more because of all the reasons I just mentioned. It's just a better quality product.
But I also think you're comparing March Madness or maybe college basketball in general, if that's your point.
So who are your Final Four predictions?
I can't make a prediction because they haven't made the bracket yet. Okay. Because once they make the bracket, you'll know who's positioned where, and then you can decide who's going to be in the Final Four. I could pick 2 teams that are in the same part of the bracket, so I can't make that prediction yet. But I would, I'd love to. So I mean, Wednesday night when we do the casual pod, by then there will be a bracket, and I'll just throw it in there, kind of shooting the shit and just talk through it a little bit. But I'm super stoked. again, as I get older, I realize that professional basketball, it's like they're so much more talented in professional basketball. Mm-hmm. They also know how to manipulate the rules more. So you'll see players like Jalen Brunson, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right now in Oklahoma City. They call them free throw line merchants because they're foul merchants. They manipulate the defense into manipulating the ref into calling a foul. So they throw their head back, and James Harden was popular for doing this. Luka, LeBron, like everybody kind of does it because it's part of the game, and their level of skill and IQ is so high that whereas in college basketball, like players are playing hard defense, especially conference and tournament play, and the offensive player is literally just trying to fight through it. And so it's a battle. And that's a better product to watch from an entertainment value. You know
I think that's what the NBA is not getting right. Is it's become such a offensive favored game that it feels like the pace of the game just doesn't exist because of the constant fouling.
Constant fouling, the 3-point shooting. It's like, it's very analytical.
But I think the 3-point shooting is exciting. I think watching a player shoot, 20, 28, 29, 30 foot from from the arc. I think it's very exciting. The problem, I think,
isn't because you just get the product looks the same across the board. Every team plays the same, and there's no like identity of a team anymore because everyone's just jacking threes because the analytics say
you watching a player make three threes in a row versus a player getting.
They're not making them like that. They're shooting them because
I think the league average on threes is like somewhere like 35 to 40%, which maybe 10 years ago you think, oh man, that's amazing shooting. That's the league average. Like your best shooters are, the top shooters are probably over 50% from threes.
Yeah, it's not a good product though is what I'm saying. Not everyone's good shooters and they're all jacking threes. It's analytic based. It's the fouling. There's dynamics with the refereeing, the fouling, how rich the players are, the stakes. Like there's so many reasons why the product itself is just like, but I mean, come playoff time, like it's still fun to watch. Like people compete at the highest level, but
I think my problem is once again the pace of the game. The NBA is compared to college is much faster, higher skill level, but we don't get to see that because every couple of minutes there's constant fouling, so the pace just there's no rhythm going on. If you look at kind of the best basketball clips online, you see like teams going on runs where it's consistently without any fouls, they're catching up on a 12-point deficit, 15-point deficit. Those are really exciting to watch. When you see, and I think they did this when James Harden was with the Rockets, where he was notorious for foul baiting. And if you looked at his scoring, like more than half of his points came from free throws, but it became a very boring game to watch because they were constantly going to the line and shooting, to the point where the NBA actually modified the rules a few years later, where there used to be this one play where a player would go up to shoot, and if the defender jumped, they would jump into the defender and then shoot that ball. They got rid of that, being a foul, but it's coming back now. Like a lot of the fouls I see SGA have, it's kind of like that, where he's like bumping, where he's purposefully initiating the contact and bumping into players and getting the foul call, where if you're initiating the contact, that's not supposed to be a foul. Right?
Well, that's my point, is that they're so high skill, high level that they manipulate the rules. So you can keep changing the rules.
But how come the rules work for one player and not for the other?
But because again, there's players in the NBA that are so high level that they understand how to manipulate the rules. They'll always learn because they're of a different caliber.
Yeah.
A lot of these college guys, they don't make it professionally because they're not that good. So it's not just shooting, dribbling, but it's like literally understanding the sport to like a level where where everyone, like LeBron knows where everyone on the court is and what their actions are and what they're supposed to do. He knows like SGA, he knows if you have your hand on his hip, he knows it's on his hip, and he's gonna manipulate the rules. He knows what the ref likes and doesn't like. They study the game at such a high level. So not everyone is that good at it, but there are players in the league who are that good, and because they can manipulate the rules, the product and the quality of entertainment, because of the pace and because of things that we're talking about, is not there. It's just going down. Again, when the ref is light on their whistle and they kind of just let people play, it's just a little bit funner to watch. And watching kind of big athletes like duke it out in the paint and stuff, that's also fun to watch. It's fun to watch like centers like throwing their bodies at each other, and you don't see that in the sport anymore in NBA because everyone's shooting threes, everyone's spaced out. They call quick fouls. They want to protect the athlete from getting hurt. They put so much money in their pockets that like if they stand and bang, like they're gonna compromise this asset that they've paid money towards. That stuff over time I've realized has watered the sport down. Now you could watch college games where they can't make any shots and they kind of suck at offense and it's like, what am I watching? This is awful basketball. That happens too, but the high competitive college games are like this conference tournaments that I watched this past week is the funnest time I've had watching basketball. There's so many like buzzer beater games. There's so many, people like with their shirts over their jerseys, mistakes, refs mistakes, coach makes mistakes. All that stuff happens, but it's still funner to watch for those reasons. So I don't want to harp too much on this.